get hit, you want to let everybody know.
Yep.
Scrummy, you can run the baseline. Here we go.
Peter Crawford completes the three-point play.
The good thing for the Crocs is that they haven't shot the ball extremely well, only 39%, and still find themselves 14 points ahead.
Wait, I said no hold.
2 minutes 47 to go in the half.
Fouls on Eddie Gill.
What they have to be careful of, though, the Crocs, is not fouling too much and putting the Blaze to the line. The Blaze shooting only 27%, really finding it difficult to be able to score from anywhere on the court, apart from the free throw line. They're 9 from 14 from the line, so 9 of their 23 points coming from the charity stripe.
Yeah, there's a real fine line, too, about backing off and not playing with the intensity that got you the lead, and then fouling away from the ball, you know, in a denial position, giving them too easy ones. You want to play hard, but you want to play smart. Somehow, Gill gets a piece of that and runs it down.
Great hustle by Eddie Gill.
And that's where the Gold Coast pressure can get teams undone. Gill, pull-up jump shot, comes up short. Scarlett to De Leon. He's fouled by Ben Allen.
And again, that's one of those fouls where Ben Allen just needs to be able to slide his feet, doesn't have to be able to put his hands in to be able to try and get a piece of this. He had help behind on the split line.
Yeah, just stick with him enough to where he can guide him to the help. I'm sure Paul Wolford wants to talk about, we got to do it without fouling. Every time they've come down and forced him into a fouling situation, put him to the line. That's keeping them close. The lead's only 12 now, and they haven't hit a field goal. 27% from the field, the Gold Coast Blaze, and every time you foul them, that's a team that's struggling to score from the field.
Good job, Tommy. That's what we're looking to do. We're putting shooter, and we're putting Ben Allen in the ball screen. Gotcha. All right, you got space everywhere. Get Ben Allen there. I don't care where you you're at. Put him in the ball screen. So put it and get the ball screen on a slide angle over split. Okay? So you're attacking that. Okay? Wherever the shooter is, Idris, find him. Okay? Find him. This guy is setting the screen. Read it. You might be rolling down. You might be popping in behind, whatever. We got to get stops. They basically got 4 guards in there, so all the rest of you guys should be switching. Okay? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Well, Joey Wright certainly urging his players for more and going with 3 point guards with Adam Gibson, De Leon, and also Jason Kadee. If nothing else, it'll give them a whole lot of pace and ability to be able to get to the paint and to be able to continue to get to the free throw line in this last 2 minutes and 21 seconds of the half.
On the other end of the floor, they better be screening out with a vengeance. When you're small, great to go with those. I always love those small lineups, but
I'm not sure that
those high bounces when you're boxing out.
Yeah, there's not a lot on the other team though as far as Gill. When I was interviewing the other day, I felt like Gigantor. He's not that tall, Eddie Gill.
We're ready to run him to the block.
I was going to swap the microphone for the block. But you have a look at Eddie Gill. Peter Crawford, you know, again, he's got a bit of size about him, but not a big offensive rebounder. And also Cedar.
There's Cedar, the shot clock down to 7. Cedar creating. He's got to get one off. Tough shot. Jacob Holmes knocks it loose from Idris De Leon. Crawford from the corner. How often do you see that? Offensive rebound. It's chaotic. Find an open spot-up shooter.
And that really is a dagger. Real momentum changer just before the half.
De Leon draws the contact, can't get the finish. Gill in the open court, he's got numbers. Cedar steps behind the three-point line, comes up short. He kind of walked himself out of rhythm. Golding.
You're right, Steve. I was going to say the same thing. Michael Cedar shot that like he didn't mean it. When he's at home, he shoots it, and you just think it's going to be net, but he wasn't convinced himself either that he should have been shooting it or that he was going to make the shot.
If I see it that way, if I see the shirt being pulled, I'll pull it. And if I don't see it, I'll just... But you didn't see that? I didn't see the shirt.
Joey Wright talking to
I didn't see it.
Von Maybury.
Honestly.
But if we grab jerseys,
Well, it's a foul if I see it, yeah.
I mean, if you see it,
I just said it.
Another free throw.
And, you know, long, like real long. Like one of those ones so long it doesn't bounce back to you, it bounces up. It's 1 of 2. And the hopes of a single figure deficit is starting to look unlikely. Townsville take a little bit more time off the clock. Jacob Holmes on a mismatch. The up fake gets Adam Gibson up in the air.
Just a smart player, Jacob Holmes, and good execution from Gill, being able to see that mismatch, threw it straight to him. But again, Holmes, no athleticism at all, but using his ability to be able to up fake and time. The fact that as soon as Gibbo went up, he found a way to be able to get himself to the line.
Well, you know, you ask him about his athleticism, and he hadn't had any athleticism his whole career, so he knows how to make the adjustments. I mean, he is a tremendous rebounder for a guy that hardly gets off the ground.
Well, he's one of the best ever rebounders. I mean, he's leading the league this year. He's 6'6", and you know, he's just a very smart player, gets himself in the right positions, reads the ball extremely well. And, you know, you say that about his athleticism, but it sort of gives an indication to kids that you don't have to be Michael Jordan or you don't have to be a massive athlete to be able to play professional basketball.
Jason Kadid. Let's see where the push occurred. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think they bailed him out there.
You think so?
From the angle of that camera angle, he was bailed out.
Either he's got tremendous strength in his palm.
Again, they've got themselves to the line. This is the 22nd free throw for the Gold Coast Blaze. Now they've missed 8.
Worthington keeps it alive. Might have gotten away with a little bit of a push.
The Crocs have shot 7.
Kadid has it tossed out by Mims.
There's a perfect chance for Golding to let that rip, and they would have got a 2 for 1.
De Leon nicely off the board. Big bucket. That barely gets there. Jacob Holmes will slow it down. Take some more time off the clock. Deficit's 11 for the Blaze. Crawford for 3. That's short. Mims with the offensive rebound. And that'll stick with Townsville.
Well, that was one they just had to have. It was almost like the ball bounced a little bit lower than what De Leon was expecting it to bounce. He wasn't looking at it, and he didn't need to. Went out of bounds.
Yeah, man, it just looked awkward, didn't it? It went through a whole set of hands as it squirted out of bounds, and so Townsville has 8.3 seconds left until halftime. With an 11-point lead, this is a huge possession. A big stop for the Gold Coast Blaze because they wanted that thing to be in single figures. They're pretty close to it.
And this is a possession, too, that Townsville won't be trying to get it in for a catch and shoot. They really need to be able to get it in, get it back out to the top, and get it to somebody that they can shoot the ball with only a second or 2 left on the clock. If they get it in now and miss it, it still gives the Blaze an opportunity to be able to get one away.
Yeah. So the ideal time is about 4 seconds, so you get an opportunity at an offensive rebound and not a real good chance to get a good shot at the other end.
Yep.
And we're here. If you're just joining us, we're at the Brisbane Convention Center for a Gold Coast Blaze home game. The NBL taking the game to the streets. And hopefully we'll see Brisbane back in the competition.
There is a whole lot of old familiar faces in this crowd.
Yeah, I think half of them will come up to you to say hello as well. What is it about when we do a game in Brisbane? Everyone feels like they can talk to you while you're commentating.
Or hug you.
Gill turns the corner. A lot of contact, no call. Goulding will run out of time as he launches his half-court shot.
Oh, without doubt, they have come to win this game. And they're playing a game plan, as you said, to be able to go snatch it. And that was the difference that we said with Cairns. It didn't feel like, to me, that Cairns style was to go and win that game in Townsville. They were just trying to play it. I love the way they're playing right now.
And Cairns, to their credit, last night came out with a game plan, and they executed that to get their win over the Melbourne Tigers as Adam Gibson rims one out from the corner.
But it's easy to do that at home, Steve. You're expected to do that. You have to be able to translate that on the road to be able to beat quality teams if you're going to make the top four.
Yeah, this is a quality team in the Gold Coast because Townsville, they picked this one up. They will get a huge boost of confidence about getting a road win here against the hottest team in the country right now. As Will Hudson hits his 15-footer.
A little bit of aggro from Mark Worthington, just getting frustrated. Got tied up by Chris Cedar down low. I mean, that's what Chris Cedar's got to do. Against a bigger guy, he's got to try and wrestle him. And Mark Worthington being spoken to.
You know, that's a good piece of officiating, too, because Chris Cedar wasn't doing anything wrong, and they went and had words with. What I hate to see is a double foul called when he's just doing his job.
Yeah, there was no need for that, and you're right. Good officiating, way to communicate it, and next time it gets out of hand, then they jump all over it.
Yeah. Cedar to Cedar. To Allen. Nice quick shot, too. Often you see a big guy bring it down, and then the defense can rotate, and then it's a tough shot. Good quick shot from Ben Allen, who's getting more confident every time we see him.
You can tell he's just in shape, starting to feel better about himself and getting his confidence up. But the Gold Coast Blaze press, they don't have any pressure on. It's almost like just to be able to take a little bit of time off the court, off the clock. As you see, Cedar just line up. And again, that is a great sign because when he's making threes on the road, normally a W will follow.
Yeah, no kidding. And his brother knows when his older brother is in rhythm. Cedar with his hands active. Michael Cedar with the loose ball, picks it up, throws it in the air to Mims, and just lays it in. Elvin Mims way upstairs to guide that one home.
Well, Joey Wright didn't want us to go into the huddle at quarter time because he was ready to give him a spray. We could see it from here. We had the headphones on. I'm surprised we couldn't hear it as well. He is seething inside right now.
Townsville just dictates the terms of whatever they want to do. They are just cruising along here. Shooting at just under 50%. But they are not rattled at all by the defensive pressure, or I should say the lack of, from the Blaze. Hudson loses the handle. Jacob Holmes looking at his teammates like, man, we dodged a bullet on that one. Whose man was that?
They did too. And you look at this pressure, there isn't a lot of pressure. Like if they're up and in, it's like Townsville can really just pick and choose exactly where they want to go. And that's not the way the Gold Coast have played when they've been on this winning streak.
Jacob Holmes, as he backs in, Goulding can't get the score on that matchup. Gibson to De Leon. He's trying to get to the rim. Ben Allen making sure that wasn't a three-point play.
That was a good hard foul. That's what he's meant to do. He steps across, grabs his arm to make sure that that shot doesn't go up, because De Leon was doing the right thing as well by trying to take the contact and still be able to flip that ball up for a three-point play.
It looked a lot worse than it was. He was just off balance.
And again, that was good officiating as well, being able to let Ben Allen know that we're watching. We don't want this to get out of control, but nothing more than a hard foul.
You don't know the rules.
The Blaze, 5 of 8 from the foul line after those 2 misses from Mark Worthington.
23% from the field for the Blaze to go with 8 turnovers.
That's not a good combination.
Certainly not in the first 12 and a half minutes of the game.
Townsville just whipping the ball up against that pressure. Mims comes up short. But I like the fact that he shot that transition little mid-range shot. Cedar trying to turn the corner.
And you're right, Steve. They've got momentum. You want him to be able to take that shot. And I like the fact that Ben Allen knew he was going to take that shot, and that allowed him to crash the boards to be able to keep that ball alive as well.
No better feeling than playing well on the road. Cedar runs into the double team, gives it to his brother. Mims creates some space. Good spin move. Tough shot from the baseline. Comes up short. Like he made the good move and then went back to the area that was guarded.
Everything looked good except the result.
De Leon.
See, De Leon's not coming off on those on-balls to score, though. At the moment, he's coming off, assessing what's going on, and the opportunity for him to score has already gone. Really needs to be aggressive because they hadn't played great defense on that initial pick and roll.
Well, right now, they're not playing like they have over the last few weeks. And there needs to be some adjustments made on the offensive end. We're just seeing out of sync. I think you need to go to a couple of simple things. De Leon on an on-ball, have him be aggressive, and then adjust after that.
I agree, and sometimes not just come down into the on-ball. Sometimes to be able to come down, get a little bit of movement, and then run an on-ball at the end of the play phase.
Cedar motoring it up. He handles the ball, and Eddie Gill's not in there. Jacob Holmes skips it to Chris Cedar on a nice pass to Elvin Mims. Townsville just whipping that thing around like the Celtics in the 80s.
Good, hold it, Pete.
That's going back a few years.
You're on your own with the 80s.
Jason
Great shot from Jason Cadet. He's starting to look more and more confident as well over this last month.
Shancher at the top looking for Elvin Mims. The pull-up shot over Adam Gibson. And Elvin Mims looking more confident with his shot attempts. And going to the school at Jacob Holmes. De Leon into Worthington. Mismatch with Cedar, but he comes up short. Mims skips it to Cedar. Extra pass to Jacob Holmes.
See, they missed that shot, but that's great offense again from the Townsville Crocs. They came down, explored on the strong side, got a skip pass, extra pass, found the open man in the corner. And if you're going to get those sort of looks in transition on the road, you'll win more games than you won't.
Mims has a seat. Peter Crawford comes in for him. Eddie Gill comes in for Chris Cedar. Good job by Chris Cedar. Giving Eddie Gill a break, but still on the same page with the tempo of the game.
No doubt. Very valuable minutes when he can come in and not only hold his own, but actually increase the lead and have the team playing with that sort of tempo and confidence while they rest their star American point guard.
Gold Coast up against it tonight. Tees can't handle the pass. Is a little bit behind him. Goes in the backcourt. Another turnover by the Gold Coast Blaze. That's number 9.
No, you can't. Move forward, please. Just there. Hang on. No hands on by anybody.
And the Townsville Crocs they've got more than twice the assist-to-turnover ratio. Yet you have a look at the Gold Coast Blaze. They've only got 3 assists. They've got 3 times more turnovers than they have assists.
Shencher wants the ball down low. Spins to the middle for his hook shot. It's a little bit long. Big Luke wanted the rock on that one. Gibson turns the corner and he's fouled.
Gibbo putting pressure on the referees to try and get to the line. Good aggressive move to the basket, but it was definitely on the floor. I think that's a good call by the ref.
Sideline, there we go.
Good call by him to ask for it, though. He's trying to pump his team up. He's trying to get something going.
I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
I would have done exactly the same thing, but at the end of the day, we're going to say how it is.
It goes the other way. It was definitely on the floor, but man, who you kidding? That never stopped you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I would have done exactly the same thing, Steve. Don't get me wrong.
All right, honesty is where we live here on One. Crocs on top, 34-19. We'll be back.
Car insurance due? Pay less with Budget Direct or get $100. You could save a shipload.
Budget Love. Budget Direct car insurance.
KFC's Popcorn Chicken Snack Box with real mouth-watering chicken pieces and your favourite chips now comes with an icy cold drink for only $4.50. So hurry into KFC today and fill up on a great deal. So good.
Welcome back. Townsville on top. Shaney caught up with Paul Wolpert before the game and asked him how they were going to handle the Gold Coast pressure.
It seems like Gold Coast have caught teams off guard with their pressure. How have you prepared to play against that sort of pressure, D?
Well, you kind of prepare like you do to play against a Perth or another team like that. You put in multiple ways to inbound the ball and have different guys bring the ball up the floor, but they're getting after it defensively. And, you know, when they do that, that fuels their ability to play fast. So you don't want to turn it over against them against their press. You have to be very careful.
Shane, it looks as if Townsville handled their pressure early, and it looks like the Gold Coast have just completely backed off.
No doubt. All about preparation, and the Townsville Crocs have come ready mentally and physically to be able to, battle a team that's in form. And really, the Gold Coast have had no answers to date. The key is, can Townsville do it for the entire 40 minutes?
And Mark Worthington looks like he's stepped up the intensity a bit, but Eddie Gill gets it to Peter Crawford for 3. Worthington with the board. Gibson to Kadee. Gibson with a nice feed to Mark Worthington. That's good basketball from the Gold Coast. Shencher and Petrie getting into it from the last time down. Oh, it's on. Worthington and Eddie Gill getting into it.
And that is exactly what the Gold Coast players need. Townsville need to walk away from this. They've got the tempo, they've got everything going their way. The Gold Coast are searching for things to be able to inspire them to be able to change the tempo and the way this game's been played.
They should walk away. Who are you? They should walk away from it?
I would have done exactly the same as Mark Worthington and Gibson are doing. They are trying to change the tempo of the game. They are inflaming a situation here because things aren't going their way.
Okay, so maybe early in your career you may have been baited by that, but late in your career you were able to walk away like when you were in Greece?
I feel like playing in Europe really helped me be able to take the emotion out when you're on the road. When you're playing at home, you use that emotion to be able to get the crowd involved, and when things aren't going your way, there's 2 different ways to be able to handle how you're going to treat a game. And I would have done exactly what Mark Worthington, he had nothing to do with the situation, and he went and got into Gill because he's trying to change the tempo. See this? Now the crowd's into it. Things are starting to swing.
Yeah, the crowd thought it was an offensive, even the court announcer thought it was an offensive foul, but it was on Jason Kadee instead of Eddie Gill. If that was an offensive foul, man. Crawford got Worthington all over him. Referees tightening it up a little bit. Petrie gets called for a hold on Luke Schencher. And that will settle Townsville down. Looks like they've weathered the emotional storm for the moment. Worthington on Gill. Gill loses his footing. Got a good look. Now, he should have moved in for, he was open for a long time.
That was a big shot in the context of this half, as far as momentum goes.
Tees can't get the three. Had a good look at it. But that would have been a big swing. Cedar, he's been hot. That's off the mark. Loose ball goes to Adam Gibson.
There's 2 free throws now because the Blaze are in the bonus, but you've got to question why Tees is in there taking that shot rather than Golding. And as we speak, Golding coming off the bench right now. But the Blaze need to make a run, and they're not going to do it without having some of their scorers on the court.
De Leon checks back in. Golding's hit a 3 in his first appearance. Adam Gibson trying to take his team on his back, inject some type of zip into him.
Well, one thing about the Gold Coast Blaze is we've seen them multiple times be down 20 points at half-time and find a way to be able to come back. I've seen it twice against the Perth Wildcats in the last 2 seasons, so no matter what the deficit is at half-time, and they'll be aiming right now to be able to get it back to single digits, they will still come out after half-time with a belief that they can turn things around.
That looked like a turnover. It looked like he handed him the ball when he was standing out of bounds and gave it to him inbounds, and then he walked out and took it out. That's what Joey Wright was yelling. It looked awkward anyway. Schencher. He reestablishes his post play. Blanchfield with a good play, and Gill with a bomb. Shot clock was down to 1. Gibson off the backboard, no good. Gibson with the right thing in mind, but just couldn't take enough off of it to get it up there nice and soft.
And that's an area of his game that's really improved this year. His mid-range game, and also being able to get to the basket and shoot it off the board has really improved.
Schencher. Gibson comes from the weak side. Cedar to Crawford. Just before Golding can get there.
Players seem like they're slipping over a lot tonight. Golding had to recover from slipping over at the halfway line as we see him chase down Peter Crawford. You see the replay. It didn't look like there was much in it. By his reaction, it didn't look like there was much in it.
Will he get the extra pass? We couldn't really tell from that angle.
Certainly didn't affect his shot.
No. And he didn't react after he went by.